Welcome to Gray Mason Gaming plays Solaris. This is the Darri Galaxy, and one exciting thing about this is my last video where I did the Neptune's Pride guide, I was like, oh, you know what, if we had Time Machine enabled beyond just the smaller maps, the 8-player maps, it would be so helpful. The developer, boom, said, you know what, they figured it out, and they're going to be able to have the Time Machine on here for at least 24 hours. It's really responsive, really cool. So let's go through it. Now, this is a game that, looking through here, there's some big names. Necra apparently knows what he's doing in this game. When you look at his profile, I don't, he might be the top one in the game. I don't know. He's up there, which is great for me because he's then a target, and a bigger target than me, and I love that. So right away, we started talking before the game started and said, hey, if we're in each other, we're gonna ally up. Let's see if that happens. Other people, I've played with limiting factor. I would ally with this Imperio. He speaks Spanish. He's kind of nearby. Master Iron Hero I played with last game. Scampade. So Scampade is another one. I know him from Neptune's Pride, and we talked about if we're near each other, let's ally up. If not, we'll kill each other. And we said, who's the other one? Bad Musician. I said, hey, let's, same thing. We had a good relationship last time. If you remember, she's the one that got me that one extra star to move me up one more rank. So I said, let's repay that debt. We talked before the game started, looking at the pulsars, and realized that she was really close to this pulsar, right about in here on the map. We said, you know what? Before the game started, you and I were going to ally up. Next, JSE. Similar conversation. JSE, if we're near each other, we'll ally up, of course. We started talking. Guess who's right there, right next to me? So we have me, a Bad Musician, and JSE. Before the game started, a 3-player team already coordinating on tech. Who else is going to be this organized? It's a beautiful thing. And then that's it. So that was the pregame. We didn't know about Scamp, where he's going to be, but this game I decided not to do the world builder, but let's use speed to get into position. I know there's some debate over is the Explorer the right choice. It gives me the +3 range and the 1.5 speed. I get, because there are only 3 tokens, I get 3 of them, still have a token left over, versus 2 raiders that gets the double speed. So it's not as fast, but what it'll allow me to do is to, because of the extra range, it'll give me 5 range on them, which should easily allow me to get my ships into position better. And just they can't get in the fight because they're -3 weapons. So that was my approach. And if we see here, yeah, this was my, as far back as we go, and I was off. And if we kind of go through, we'll zoom out just a little bit here. I'm just making a mad dash. Now, we already, with Bad Musician, I already knew what stars over here I was going to be able to get. And just like that, I get this star, and the wormhole that I was racing towards goes there. Like, oh, that's, I mean, I guess tactically it could be helpful to move ships around, but, and it's not a backdoor somewhere on the opposite side of the galaxy, but I don't know, it felt a little underwhelming. But then I could go zip through here, and lo and behold, I have neighbors. So, called Mar. Mar is a talker. And we had a somewhat tenuous beginning to our relationship. Basically, he told me that I need to give him the star and these stars because they're right near his home star, which they are. But I said, you don't understand. I'm right here as well. I got here first, so therefore I'm closest. So we had a whole debate over, I need to give him all these stars because that's near him. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, he's a newer player. If you look at his profile, like, he's not really played any games. So I said, I understand that we're tight. I understand you'd like those, but if I get there first, that means I'm closer. Therefore, you know, we're just really in tight quarters here. And I started to sound the alarm. And, like, for example, we have in the Jewish Star Academy, a group chat, and you'll see there's me, JC, Bad Musician and Lescamp, we have map threads, all sorts of stuff. We have tech coordination. By the way, we're still in cycle 0. But this is where a lot of this coordination comes in important. It was the bad music. First, it was bad. It was just JSC and I and Bad Musician, the 3 of us, and I thought I was going to come to blows with Mar, but we were able to talk through it and reach an agreement. And then later on, he gets vision enough to see, oh, you actually are really right here. He thought I was like over here on the map and just popping through. He's like, no, get out of my backyard. So that conversation happened, and he's still like chatting with me. So let's continue. He launched on this star, but I knew I could beat him, so I'm like, I'm still going to take this star. I'm going to take this star. I'm going to take this wormhole. He's going to get this binary, which I really would have liked to, but you know what? He's closer, so he should have it. Absolutely. These were the last 2 stars over here. At this point, I send 30 credits to Bad Musician. She will be getting experiments in cycle 1, which is a wonderful thing. JSC, I'm finally in view of him, so we can trade as well. All 3 of us will be in the trading distance. And then I see another person, 2 people, Maps here, and Crumbed. Now, Crumbed has a little bit more experience, and of all the people I've been speaking with, has the most. Of my neighbors, between Mar, Maps, and Crumbed, he is the most. I see he's going to get this star, and I see, this one was sad because we're going to get there at the same time, but he brought one more ship, and he was a little bit closer, so he's going to win this. I allied up with Mar and sent it to Crumbs to make sure we don't have a conflict. And he was offline at the beginning of that, but did come on board. But this one here, I could have got, but I was kind of being greedy, getting further away ones. And so he's going to get it for now. Boom, and then you see he does get this, and so now we're starting to chat. And I was talking to Mar, I'm like, hey, let's group up and kill Crumbed. Again, I'm just trying to redirect and give people a target that's not me. And they started to talk and basically hit it off and said, oh, we're going to work together. So I'm like, oh, great, let's all work together. We're all the gray color. Let's do the 3 shades of gray. 3 shades of gray. And so we have this little thing going. I also make a greedy little play over here. I saw Maps. This should be Maps' star, 100%. But I'm like, he hasn't launched on it that I can tell. I'm going to just take a risk and see if I can't get some vision and take a free star. I'm hoping that they're AFK enough that I can get there in time. Don't know. I very well could blow up on that one. And same with this. I saw Crumbed here. He easily could be getting there first, but I made a play to try to get this one more star. And then in the south, this was interesting. So now we have Philpop. We'll call him Phil. When I saw this, I'm like, all right, great. So I'm near JSE. We got these 3 open stars. Coordinated with him. I knew JSE was coming for this star. So I'm like, let me try to get this one. So that's what I tried to do. So I launch there, and I have my Explorer there, which again gives me 1.5 times movement speed. So I'm trying at this point in the game, we're on tick 8, to just establish the furthest out borders that I can get. I know I'm going to get these 1, 2, 3. I'm going to get this 4, 5. I'm going to get sort of these 6, 7, 8. So I still have a lot of stars I'm trying to get. So Cubes did get this, but he didn't blow me up. He allied in time. He does make a play for this one, but he gets there an hour too late. So that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's one of those, like, every tick matters at the beginning. Every tick matters to try to establish stars. Now, it was probably about this point where we heard from Scamp, who had a wormhole that's over here that he was trying to hold. He was fighting Lil Silver. He was bordering Crumb. So the Scampade is right here. And if I go in and show you in our maps, let's see if I can find one that he put together. Yeah, this is his vision. So we saw this is the Bad Musician Pulsar. So I'm right here. Right, Crumb is here. Mar is here. This is where Scamp is, so he's in this right next to Imperio. So what we were thinking is, well, let's just crush Crumbs between us, but that may or may not happen. Master Iron Hero was a target. He was also not around. It had just preset a lot of ships into motion and started a lot of combat he didn't intend to do. I thought I had... see there's already been a lot of chatter. So we're at tick 9 right now. So let's go for a little bit more. I go ahead and I hit these and I find this wormhole. Where does this wormhole get us? Down to Lull 77, who is already AFK. So this is a great place for me to expand as well. So I've got this expansion. These guys are communicative. I wanted to hit them to connect us with the Scampade, but if they're being peaceful and he doesn't need the help right now, we might be able to just keep that peace for now and focus on these two blues, Maps and Paw and Phil. So I finished filling in some of the map here, and so you see I've got a nice solid base. I'm going to get this one too. A nice solid base here. Now this star I was negotiating with Krubed and saying, you know, hey, listen, you got there first, it's yours. But it would really mean a lot to me if you let me have it back, because it's right in the middle of my borders. Now, right in the middle of my borders that I just established by getting there a tick before you, but it still is right in the middle of my borders. And he did agree, and he's going to be backing off. So we back up again a little bit, and you can see now I've got my borders established on my north, my east, my south side, west side. When I got this star here, this was my little gambit. I have great vision now, and I don't want to mess with maps yet. I only have 4 ships, but we'll go a little bit further. I did. Oh, okay. So what you see here, if we go back one. You had Phil and JSE. Phil's going to get there first, so he's going to blow up JSE's ships unless he makes him an ally. He did not, so he blew JSE up. He did not be responsive in time. That probably will be enough, hopefully, for JSE to feel comfortable attacking into here, which is great. If I know he's got some other borders as well, but if he's able to push on Phil with me, we can do some damage, I think. And yeah, this is where we're at right now. We're on tick 15 now. So I have a solid alliance that I will go to the end game with in Scamp, Musician, and JSE. The 4 of us are tight. I also did create a little sub-alliance of the 3 Shades of Grey, that if they prove themselves worthy, I will pull them into the larger alliance. If they are not worthy, then we'll just let them die off, and I'm not going to go to the grave for them. But we'll use them and just see how it goes. We're in a trial mode with the 3 Shades of Grey alliance. I let them know I'm working with Bad Musician. I did not talk about Scamp. I did not talk about JSE. And the reason I did that is because early on I was afraid Mar was going to attack me, and I wanted him to know, if you do that, you will get attacked back by both of us. And so I needed to basically let him know that attacking me is attacking 2 players. It's a big deterrent. Now, another thing I noticed with Mar is he built his world builder on his capital star, which is a huge mistake for 2 reasons. One, you don't need that. You already have 10 industry build up. Why don't you build that up on the star right next door? You know, one of those other ones. That would have made a lot more sense. And also, because it's minus 5 weapons, it makes it really easy to attack your capital now. So, so that's that. And then I also noticed over here, where was it? Yeah, there's another world builder, a day one world builder here within this nebula from Phil. So that means he doesn't have any other specialists to be aggressive with. And so my speed of should win the day. Now, I haven't attacked anybody yet except Phil. If we go back in time, I'll show you. I had a decision to make right here. I was planning on taking this open star, but then I looked down. I saw 501 with no ships, 400, and I could get to both of those in this tick, which means 90 Lexus credits for him, 90 more credits for me to invest in my own income and invest in my own economy. So since I felt confident with my alliance all the way around, the only three attack vectors are going to be Maps, who said he's already attacking Lil Silver, Phil, and the bot. And the bot I can get to, but I'm like, if I can just basically make him quit, then I've got two ways to grow. And so that was my logic on why you're going to build a 501 and leave not even one ship behind. You're going to let me take my Explorer and go boop, 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 and then give me vision of your whole thing. Thank you for the 50 credits. And now I have a decision, because whoa, look at this. We've got a binary star 136. And you can, by the way, see all the, like, they're just chatting nonstop. I could take this, but there's nothing there to take yet. So I'm going to prioritize taking this 4 first, and then see where it goes from there. So this is my plan. Let's go take this. I will lose it. Like, as soon as he wakes up, he's going to send those ships, and I'm going to lose it. I'm just trying to injure his industry. See, like, he has his 10 ships here. Like, I don't really have a defense to these 55 ships that he's going to be pissed and send my way. The ships I send up here, I could send back, but it's a longer distance, so I will lose some of these stars, but I'll do some damage in the way. I will make JSC get him to help attack. That's where we are. The games in Darri begin. All right, moving into cycle 1, we are actually at technically tick 28. But we're in the time machine still at cycle 15 or tick 15. And at this point, we were feeling pretty comfortable. We were poking down here, and so let's go into that. There was a lot of politics that happened, and I think in a game of Neptune's Pride and Solaris, the first couple days are the most important to establishing your relationship with your people around you. So look down here. I was making a play to get to the second, and what's interesting, this is it's updating the star count here, but not the galactic tick. Okay, we're on tick 18. I was able to capture this here, and this is where we came up with, this is actually JC's idea, a little trick. A trick that if you have an AFK player, and you look, there's 54 ships on their home star, and they're just sitting there without a carrier. You can send a carrier to another player and send it as a gift, and you can route it with another waypoint. And if they don't modify the commands in that 1 hour that they gain control of it, you can basically have a carrier pick up the ships on the star, ferry them off to some other planet, follow it up an hour later with next tick with your own, and take the home star for free. Now, I didn't know if this would actually work. This was kind of a theoretical experiment, but here you see there's a little gift thing that this carrier is a gift, and there'll be some other action we'll cover in a second, like we see this yellow pop in, but let's go through this first. It gets here, now it's a gift, and this carrier picked up, it did a collect all action, and I had it routed to here, and Holy crap, it worked. All 67 ships left their home star to go attack and defend this other poor yellow player, and I got their home star for free. Let's watch it again in all its glory. It kind of feels like a hack. And by the way, the computer took over as I was in flight. But yeah, home star for free. So the AI took over. You could tell from all the random carrier spawns. Also in this time, while I was doing this, my explorer was zipping over and getting this binary, and look how crazy this is. So I get 1 tick away, and he builds 3 industry, which is 0.9 production. Not enough, and so I'm going to take it over the next cycle, the next tick I mean, and boom, I take it over before anything is produced. A beautiful, beautiful binary, and then I even have this other star down here. Now, that's just some of the little trickery, little fun that's gone on. Let's talk a little bit about politics. We have Euro, and we have NNK. We have Phil Paw, and we saw Yellow take over. Come over here. We're going to move forward again and just show you. We have Waven. Now, a little bit earlier, this was at the end of cycle 0. You know, I talked about the 3 shades of gray. And boy, Mar and Krubed really impressed me with their communication, and they were asking questions like, hey, who else are we going to team with? And I felt like they had earned the right to join the group. It just made sense to pull them in. So we invited them formally to join the Scamp, Gray, JSE, Bad Musician foursome to make it a 6-player alliance. So they are formally with us now, full trading. Bad Musician got experiments, Mar got specialists. We traded that, so everyone got that on tick 0, and that is a huge, huge boost that a lot of other teams, I'm guessing, didn't get. And so now we're going, and I can't show you. I can show you the screenshots, but it's probably not worth it. I'll just tell you. Scampade was able to get a 905 star with the scientific research station on, which gave him 10 in science at this point in the game. Is huge. And he was get it over here on the Master Chef. And so he's been in defensive mode since he sniped that star the whole time. The Bad Musician has also been fighting Master Chef, and so this is all here is just Master Chef fighting. Mar is fighting with a bot above him, AK whatever, and Crumbed has had to send ships over to help defend Scamp. So that's what these guys are doing. I am picking off Phil. The question then becomes maps. And he saw my ships coming down, and he said that he thought I was going to attack him, and I was going to attack him. But then he was like, it was a little sad. He was like, well, I guess you'll just get my stars, and I'm attacking over here. I'm like, well, who are you with? He's like, I'm with Waven and NNK. And I'm like, And then I started thinking, like, who are the big threats? None of these people are the big threats. This is Maps' first game. I'm like, I don't want to, like, be a complete jerk. But Yarrow, on the other hand, is a very strong veteran player who, if there is an opportunity, will absolutely slit my throat. And so I had a little light bulb went off, and I put together a thread. And they said it's a coalition of minor actors. And I said, you know what? Greetings. And this is and I only included 3 people on our alliance. JSE, which everyone's going to assume I'm with, and Crude, because they're next to me and Maps already knew I was with them. I excluded the other 3. I said I want to formally establish a dialogue between our great alliances. Maps have been friendly, blah, blah, blah. We've been chatting, and I think it's in our best interest to group up and deal with the larger threats in the galaxy, namely the 5 top-ranked players in our galaxy: Necra, Euro, Ronin, Limiting Factor, and Freda. these places, and then I go and explain why. Well, it didn't take but about 2 seconds before Necra sends me this message. I'm disappointed in you. 1 out of 5? I'd have thought I'd get my own message and a call to arms at least. I'm like, damn you, we aren't neighbors. Well, I guess raid boss. Maybe, we'll see. We're both motivated by doing well, so there's plenty of scenarios from here where our interests align. I said, the speed at which my message got to you is utterly amazing. He said, not just me. So RRK sent my NNK, whatever, sent my message out to everybody. So I blasted it in the all chat drama on the beginning of Cycle 1. So what that did, though, is it put a definitive wedge between NNK, Waven, and Maps. Maps is with me, in part because he's like, if I'm not with you, you're going to just kill me, which I was genuinely thinking about doing. But now, that's fine. He sent me a map, and basically, he's not that big. I could kill him, but I would rather use his ships to kill people that are hostile versus someone who might actually work with me. I have plenty of other places to expand and attack. I don't need his stars. And so if I have a little cocoon of people all around me that got my back, I mean, why not do that? Like, I feel very comfortable with JSE, Musician, Mar, and Krubed. If I get maps as well, and then I can just focus on pushing south, I have the wormhole to go further south, so I can really focus my energies here without having to worry about them. That's great. So Maps now is good. He was dealing with Lil Silver, and he wants to attack NNK. He needs help, so I'm going to send ships over there. Waven is like, I've got a huge border with, and let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit more. Yeah. So here's current. I was able to establish a little bit more of a border here. Waven is basically all in here, is my understanding. And so he's already got a big border with Euro. So he's nervous. Now, I don't need Waven to attack Euro, although it would be nice, as much as I need him not to attack me, because JSE and I are going to 2-on-1 Euro. And as long as he doesn't get assistance, we should do well, especially because I'm fairly certain at this point, again, like before, 31 stars, 46, 44, 10. I think that on, the end of tick 1 is pretty good. I already sniped a capital star, which is not an easy thing to do. There's only one AFK player, and I've got their star. I've got their homeworld. So I've got to be one of the strongest players individually and alliance-wise. I'm not going to make the mistake I made in Kusi, where I got big and didn't have any friends. I'm making friends first. I will end up getting 1-2 more of these stars, 3 more. So I'm going to get 3 more stars on top of that. So I'm going to be sitting at 34 stars. And then I'm going to start pushing into Euro. We're going to get JSE pushing into them. And we'll see where that goes. So that's where we're at. Cycle 2, tick 41. Let's resume, though, where we left off at tick 28. Again, northern border secure, so it's really the action is down here. I'm starting to move into position to help defend maps and secure my southern border here. And as you can see, I am getting a little bit of ground here, defending, grabbing this star, grabbing that star. Did I hit them both the same turn? I did. Yeah, so hit those two, which really helps fill out my vision here. You can see there is this large gap, and this is where these explorers come in clutch, traversing a long distance, +3 range. So if you're like me and have a pretty spread out empire, the explorers that I got early on are really paying dividends for me to get my ships into position. Now, I am in good terms with Maps, who is under attack now by NNK over here. He did send me an image of that. But we're finishing off Phil first. And I contemplated this. I contemplated, when do I go for that or not? And I do eventually do it. I probably could have gone sooner, but I think when I saw him coming, and I launched the same time, I mean, it's a binary star. It's a good star, and I wanted it, but I was trying not to be greedy. But yeah, 128 natural resources is a really good star, and it will complement my capital here well. My fear is if Waven or someone else got it, now they've got 2 big stars against my 1, and I just want to protect this area. I committed to Waven that he could get this world builder. I did not commit to that star there. And the other thing I've been thinking about is, when do I poke my head in here? And tick 40 is the last tick of the cycle, and we've gotten tech spread around. Here we'll go one more, boom, and so this is current. This is right now, and I sent 1 ship through here, and look at this. It he just happened to move off. I got a really lucky timing, but I have more ships coming. And again, this is so it's the second tick of the second cycle. And lo and behold, he's got an almost completely undefended capital star. And I'm not seeing a lot of industry. He's still capturing stars that hasn't been claimed down here. So this is like the Wild West. There's not a lot going on. This AI's been slacking. Now, but I see ships moving up north. I see him moving west. I'm thinking, because JSE is kind of a corner here, I'm thinking that kind of this is the corner of the map like this, and I would love that. So you may have noticed, if you're got a keen eye, that I'm 1 tick into the cycle and I'm down to 20 credits. I can't even buy a carrier, and that's because I got some science just like normal, got it up to 13. We'll get manufacturing out this cycle. And then I bought a couple warp gates on 3 terraforming. But I bought them on my capitals. And this is why. Because this has got 65 ships sitting here, and I need those up here. I also bought my 4th Explorer. Oh, I gifted 1 Explorer to JSE to send troops back. I need 5 range. I've researched now up to 3, so I need that Explorer. And with this was already warp gated, so I just had to warp gate 1 star. That gets there in 5, and then with the Explorer, which I needed for the range more than anything, but then I get it in 4. In 4 hours, I've got my huge hub of industry pushing to the wormhole. And then I'm going to keep carrying these ships back and forth as well. And so I'll have a ton of ships. Specifically, I'll have 65, 69, 70, 80, 90. I'm going to have 90, plus these 2, 110. 110 in 4 or 5 hours sitting here. 110 should be plenty to clear out this ragtag amount of ships that I see. I'm going to beeline for their capital, and then I'm just going to explode out. Now, what'll be nice is, well, I don't know good or bad, but the timing is actually pretty good, because I'm guessing Euro is also down in here, and that could be where some of these ships are going. And so when I start to push out and collect here, I'm also I also spent money is this was warp gated, and this was warp gated. But this was not, so I warp gated this second capital as well. I'm going to be zipping ships over here, zipping ships down here to the front line, so now this is in 2 ticks. And I may just attack with my Explorer. I lose 3 weapons, but they only have 1, 5. They don't have a lot. I'll do the math. But I should be able to at least start to put a dent into Europe here and to really open up my aggression. This will be gone in 2 hours. This will be gone in 1 hour. So Phil will be removed from the game. Maps, I've been feeding tech, helping him. My 48 ships will be arriving there in 5 hours. I'm going to be helping on NNK. Krub is heading most of his ships down to help on NNK. Mar is working on this bot here. and then might start dealing with the Traveler. So he's pushing up north. Bad Musicians finishing off Iron Chef. JSE is sending everything down to deal with this bot and Euro. So between everything in the south that's going to push on Euro, and now everything in my north can quickly get to the wormhole, come through here, and then I could hit them on 2 flanks with the full force of my gotta be Galaxy leading 49 industry, soon to be 59, 60. It's going to be devastating for Euro. And when you look at what he has from a tech perspective, you can see he's behind on 1, 2, 3, 4 of the techs. So he doesn't have some really big alliance. He's got to be scared. And I'm going to take him out. And we're going to take NNK out. And we're going to be sitting pretty. And here is the map as best we had from about 10 hours ago of everything that's been shared with us. So you can see I'm like right in the middle of the damn galaxy again. Phil's going to be gone. Friended maps. Waven is actually friendly, so Maps and Waven are together. And then yeah, I see Yaro's all down here. He's definitely going to be bordering LOL. So and you can see how JSC's on the border. So we take out this bot, work on Euro, hit them both sides, and at that point we'll see what's going on. What are the wormholes? So the big threats, Euro is going to be a big threat. Now Simp is teamed with him, and there's going to be a wormhole here. So after I do this, I could funnel right up here and start working in this northeast corner. Freda is Rainbow Warriors from last game. Lanian, good player. Limiting Factor is a good player, but I have a buffer between them. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then we have unknown where they are, Necria, and then the other top 5 players running way up here. So I need to secure this southern area as best as possible. Keep my friends with Waven and Maps, although we'll see how they go once they see how huge I get. Keep it secret that I'm in a 6-man alliance with 2 more people working with me, so we kind of have 8 players actively teaming with me, and then push up there. But right now, the 2 priorities is to grow on LOL here, and to start pushing on Euro here. That's our focus right now, and just keep Maps alive. Don't need him to grow, just keep him alive. Picking up on tick 45, it's only been a few hours. Nothing substantial happened here except a colonel from Waven coming up here. And I'm like, okay. And I know there was like 50 ships that went up here. I'm like, okay. Waven has been basically saying he can't join the fight against Yarrow and NNK and company, because if he does, he'll just get destroyed by them until things change. So we talked about the scandal, and we want to handle the scandal. And basically he apologized, and he showed me, he's like, look it, I had to do this so that Yarrow knew that I was being aggressive towards you. Alright? But he's caught up on some of the other chats, and he played his role well enough to be added to the anti-gray group. I'm offended. I was not invited to this group. It's alright, I got spies on the inside. Waven comes around, he says this. Let's look at what they're saying. Anti-gray group. Yarrow, Necra, Bumblebee, Waven, NNK. Except Waven's on my team, so that means these other 4 are not. These are the 4 enemies. Just as an FYI, this is from Yarrow. Gray Mason is moving on myself, and I've heard the same for NNK. As a full situation debrief, I'm holding off the floodgates on 4 bots. I knew there were some bots down there. I can't profit off them, really, because the scene here is chaos incarnate. Lol, Sensi, the Hide Seeker, Better are the bots. They have wormholes leading to who knows where. I know where one of them goes. If Gray Mason defeats me, you bet they will that he will absorb 4 factions and gain 4 capitals, at least 30 systems. This is past my own systems. Essentially, they will sweep this game in its entirety. That is the plan. I know they have crumbed and characters on their side. If they already absorbed some of Phil's, including a free binary. I did. It was a beautiful thing. And his capital. And then K. I can't see Grey Mason, but both Crubden maps are fighting me, and I'm pretty sure they're all allied. I mean, correction. Since he isn't a bot at the moment, regardless, a strong faction can reap the corner and quickly scale upwards. Let's do that. That's a good plan. They also have tech leads across the board already, so unfortunately we cannot let them be. Okay. I'll start moving my ships east to a staging point to start pushing back and helping you guys get to the front line. This is Necra. We found him. We've been looking for him. Where was he? He's over here. He's over here. Okay. I'm bored. I will join this quest. I need chords. Are they north, east? Northeast of you. If you add me on Discord, blah, 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 blah. So it's on. I am... This is the fight. We're only, by the way, we're on cycle 2, for crying out loud, and the game's already like, oh, the game's over. The game's over. The game's not over. It's cycle 2. Now, I am huge. I'm sure I'm one of the biggest already again. And if I get all this, I'm going to be a complete monster. Shall we continue? Some other intel. Mar, I can never say his name right, reached out to Necra. He says, hey, I've read some of the drama, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm new here. What's this all about? And he says, Grey Mason and the GAC made a Tick 0 pregame alliance in the last game. We were working together here. Each founded their own group of a few players and then joined them. Grey Mason recorded the game. I like to treat each game a fresh start and keep alliances numbers to a maximum of 5, otherwise it becomes a race to see who can gather the most people. Grey Mason seems fairly determined to get people to take out the players he sees as a threat, but is significantly downplaying his own ability. Fair assessment. Absolutely. That is 100% true. Here's a video. It's very complimentary, so thank you, Necra. I appreciate that. See, because I am a builder, I open to the World Builder, not Explorers, and lo and behold, out of the wormhole within scanning distance of my World Builder is Grey Mason. What bad luck. That is seriously not good news. Has he reached out for an alliance? He started demanding really unfavorable borders, and I had something like that. I don't know what he said. Blah, 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 fighting. It's more complicated. It wasn't really in the cards back then, but maybe he's got other allies, the Jewish Empire. He certainly managed to secure Crubad to my west. And he says it's more likely they just have their hands full with NNK and with whoever that may be from the group chat. I can't quite read what that says. I can't say for sure, but it's plausible they are intending to wipe you out once the wars are won. Yeah, Crubad sometimes tells me tidbits. We managed to mix conversation between games. Obviously, don't do anything that jeopardizes you. Necra's playing a great game. Like, he's a good guy. I hope I get to work with him soon. But meanwhile, holy crap, the espionage. The espionage. But there's more. Let's go back. Okay, so here's Bad Musician. If you look in here. So here's what else is going on, right? So he's about dead. We're trying to deal with Freda and Limiting Factor. These two, we're trying to hold them at bay. And we want to make sure that they don't attack. And so we're trying to figure out how to hold them back now. But Julia, Bad Musician, oh my God, she's brilliant. So I appreciate that. Of course, I've heard of a mythical 5-headed Hydra Alliance monster tale spread about. I'm fully aware that it was bullshit. I honestly am only surprised that it happened so soon. Yeah, me too. That sort of shenanery you normally only get a week or two in. Anyways, it looks like I'm about to be pulled into a hot war with Grey and his gang, much earlier than I'd have liked. Oh, that's good to hear. I don't have direct scan of him yet, but he's several tech levels ahead of myself, according to my ally. That is great to hear. I mean, look at all this information I'm getting. You gotta hide your numbers. So then this is with G-Car, Limiting Factor, and Bad Musician. I like to make some good neighbors. Hey, we respect you. Why don't you join us? And so working on the eastern flank of the galaxy is a Bad Musician, and she's kind of trying to hold all these people in bay. Now, Simp has a wormhole down to the southwest corner. That is going to be a problem. We need to figure out how to get these people fighting each other. And then, yeah, so there were, oh, you know what, and just for funsies, with Yarrow, he says, for being a neighbor, you're much too quiet. This is suspicious. I said, are you inviting me over for a block party? You're the one throwing the party. I'm just staying alive. I got the invite and apologize for not RSVPing sooner. I'm sending some of my boys over now. They'll be there shortly. We'll bring our own beer. Well, that's not great. As I said, I'm not throwing a party. What? I can't hear you over the loud music in the Hummer. Damned kids and their rap music. Anyway, I'll be at Injaza soon, which is his star. Man, why is this that we never get to work together? This pattern is growing tiresome. You've never been willing to parlay. I'm with JSE. I just follow his lead. You'll have to take it up with him. They don't even see me. That's an odd take. I don't like yellow. You have 2 yellow allies, which I don't. I have none, but Waven, I guess. Neighbors. So, yeah. So here we are. We'll see what happens with Waven, but he just spilled the beans. Like, he just gave me all that juicy information. And now I know I need to start viciously killing off Yarrow. Let Waven grow. Waven's going to get some of this bot's stars. I'm going to grow like a beast. And so go in and spending all my money. Because, by the way, I'm there. I'm here now. Right? I made it. So there's this extra 90 ships. They're going to pop through. So I have 102. And I'll absorb this. I'm just going to launch right on here and get that right away. So yeah, I am in. So it's getting crazy. We're on cycle 2, and I feel like we're in endgame fighting already. It's crazy. Crazy, I say. I'm going to do a little update here because there's been some significant changes. In the land of Lull, where I was all excited to grow on the AI with my massive amount of ships, here 102 ships against 15. I'm going to destroy these guys against this AI bot. I buy a siege breaker because I want to minimize my damage and my losses here and guarantee I take this. My fear is there's an enemy right there, and I go ahead and launch on the only other place that I see that has industry. Well, I guess that does too, but I launch on both. And I want you to watch the name here as I'm 1, 2, 3 ticks in. AutoSun. Huh. So the slots opened up, and AutoSun, who's another strong player, decides to randomly pick one of the people that left, and he randomly picked the guy that I'm 4 hours and 18 minutes away from killing. And so I sent him a message that says, just sigh. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, damn it. I said, hello, you joined just about to take the AI Homestar. How shall we proceed? He's like, yeah, damn it, I can't have you take my capital. I won't stand a chance without it. You could gift your carrier, and I'll send it back, of course. I'll give you the 3 tokens as well for the cost of your siege breaker, which is a fair deal. I said, and I was at dinner, I could talk. He's like, he'll be around. I'm like, how about you abandon and move out and then come back? I'm like, wait a minute. How about we just ally up? Problem solved. I marked him as an ally. He did the same. I said, okay, immediate crisis averted. Are you on board with joining me? I'd love for an image of your vision to know. I don't even know what I was trying to say there. He says, he says, if you go through here, you can have access to a guy who's a bot. I'd be happy to join you in fighting that bot, but I'm not in a bad position. I still have 18 stars, so not too weak. And he says this bot is actually faster. So he's routing me east. And I said, have you been given offers yet? He's like, no, not yet. Yarrow is my neighbor, so I'll need a non-aggression pact there. And that's my fear. I know these guys all know each other, and these guys were allies in the past. And I know everyone takes games differently, but he also, I don't know. Here's my fear. I can just kill him and take everything. I was about to do that. And it wasn't against him, it was against a bot. I feel bad like he joined a thing, but I'm like, I mean, what do you want me to do? So here's where I'm at. I am 15 minutes from taking that spot. Now, I did get a few other spots around here. I got these two. I got vision of the hide and seek and sensi. So these are other bots that way. And over here is going to be Necra. And so I know if I work with AutoSun, he's like, I want to kill bots and then we'll see what happens. And I'm like, that reeks of you're too strong. I'm sorry, this is what I have to do. Right now, I'm in the position of power. The second I don't take this capital star, I'm screwed down here. But I want to minimize damage. So I'm going to break my alliance with him with like 10 seconds left. Maybe I'll give myself a buffer a little bit more than that. So I'll record that live and I'll throw that on there and show you what happens. So that's the drama down here. I want to take this stuff out, and then by the way, I've got another. Wait, how much is it? Let me just refresh and make sure it's current. Yeah, another 45 that are going to pop through there, and those 45 are going to come down and take. I just want to get rid of this nebula down here. I see ships coming down this way, so we're going to go down and just start cleaning from what I think is the edge out into towards the other bad guys. If I go this way first, then my flank is open. But I do see a binary that I think he just got. Yeah, so I'm gonna want to grab that. The other news is up here on Yarrow. We'll go ahead and back up a little bit and show you that as well. Yeah, so nothing too exciting. Now we're watching this colonel, and he's like, he needs to get rid of the vision. I took that. I took some losses. I sent down here. You don't usually want to fight with a -3 weapons, but because the ship counts are so small, it actually doesn't even hurt me. So then I said, okay, let's go ahead. If you look here, if I get rid of this star from Yarrow, which is the wormhole, they lose vision, and he can move his ship out. So that's where I'm headed now, to get rid of them. And in 13 minutes, I'll also clear this out, which will allow him to take his colonel out, which will allow me to free up these 150 ships. And then those 150 ships can go warp gate zip and into the fray down here. Alright, so as we get to the last few minutes before my diplomacy change, the only other thing going on, Bad Musician really wants to bring Freda into the mix, which is Lanyon. I'm really nervous about it. I'm afraid that he's going to not like the fact that we're so big already. He'd be number 7 officially. He's allied with Simp. Simp is being aggressive in this wormhole. But my fear is if I don't, that I'm going to make Bad Musician feel like she doesn't have a voice in the alliance and will turn. So I think, you know what, listen, you're the politics in the north. I trust you, and I just hope that she's right. Because ultimately, if it goes wrong in the south or in the north, she's going to be the one getting attacked first. So Here we are, the final seconds. Let's go into the handshaking, the diplomacy, and we are going to find there's AutoSun. And we're going to turn this off. We have 30 seconds. I hate to push it this close because like computers could glitch. We're going to do it 20 seconds. We're going to say declare war. Yes. 15 seconds. If he's online right now, he could see that and be ready to buy something. I gave him 10 seconds. I was just afraid. I probably should have done it a little bit sooner. Okay. Okay. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. We're looking down here for this to turn gray. We're looking for this up here to turn gray. Fucker, I knew you were going to do that. He built a general, a saboteur, and an orbital command station. Okay. And with that, let's bring this episode to a close. What have we done? We've established a set of allies that put us in a cocoon, protecting us from the north, east, and west. We've grown to have friendly neighbors to our southwest, and we've pushed into the evil yellow empire of Euro. AutoSun took over for a bot that I was about to take his capital and blew my shit up. And I'm sure he's not going to be real happy now, so he inevitably will be working with Necra, with Bumblebee, with NNK, and that southwest corner is going to be a problem. Will my alliance stick together? Will we persevere? Or will people start to roll over and join the forces of evil against good old Gray Mason? Tune into the next episode and find out. Thanks for watching.